The United States Air Force held a ceremony earlier this month to commemorate the 20th anniversary of the Lockheed Martin F-22A Raptor's first flight. The ceremony was held at Edwards Air Force Base in California on October 19. However, the actual 20th anniversary of the Raptors was on September 7. The Raptor first flew on September 7, 1997, when Lockheed Martin Chief Test Pilot Paul Metz took to the air in tail a F-91-4001, the first of 9 engineering manufacturing development F-22 that were built at Dobbins Air Force Base in Marietta, Georgia. During that first flight, Metz flew the brand new fighter, known simply as Raptor 01 inches, for just under an hour, reached 20,000 feet. That first flight in 1997 launched the start of a long and sometimes difficult flight test program that was, for the time, groundbreaking. Eventually, after an arduous flight test program, General Ronald E. Keyes, then commander of Air Combat Command, declared the Raptor as initial operational capable on December 15, 2005. However, though the Raptor became operational more than a decade ago, the stealthy, supersonically cruising F-22 continues to be the most capable air superiority fighter ever built. Moreover, the F-22 Combined Test Force at Edwards AFB continues to test new upgrades that will keep the Raptor flying into 2060s. In fact, according to the Air Force, the Raptor's airframe is so robust it will be able to fly until that time with no structural upgrades. The Raptor's airframe is incredibly robust due to the Air Force's extreme requirements for the design during the closing years of the Cold War. Though the F-22 was designed with an 8,000-hour airframe life, real-life flying experience shows that the jet can be safely flown without modifications out to 12,000 hours at the low end and as many as 15,000 hours on the high end. Way back in the late 80s and early 90s when we designed the F-22, we had about 10 design missions that we built the structure of the aircraft around. Tom McIntyre, a program analyst for F-22 requirements at Air Combat Command, told the National Interest earlier this year. That's what during the MD, engineering, manufacturing, development, we did the full-scale testing on against those missions. We came to find out we have not been flying the Raptor nearly as hard as those design missions, nor is what we found out during the structural testing. So actually the airframe itself, without any service life extension program, is good out to approximately 2060. The Raptor is being upgraded with new avionics and software, but eventually the jet will need a complete overhaul of its computer hardware. Sometime between 2025 and 2030 we're going to have to take a serious look at the supportability of some of the systems on board the Raptor and upgrading those, McIntyre said. We're currently in the very early stage of looking at that. Despite the Raptor's stealth and blistering performance, by 2030 the F-22 will no longer be the top of the line as the enemy catches up. Potential adversaries like Russia and China are designing measures to defeat the Raptor and American air superiority writ large. What might happen is that the F-22 would partner with the 6th Generation Penetrating Counter-Air (PCA) in a teaming arrangement similar to today's partnership between 4th and 5th Generation aircraft. The Raptor would take the place of the F-15 Seagull as the lower tier of a high-low mix, with the PCA forming the upper tier. When the PCA comes online, it will be designed to operate and be interoperable with 5th generation aircraft such as the F-22 and F-35, McIntyre said. There will come a time, whether it is 2030, 2040 or 2050, when the F-22 will be kind of like the 4th generation aircraft today, but until the day the PCA becomes operational, the Raptor will remain the world's single most formidable air superiority fighter.